Hello everyone, my name is Kxnetxc, and today I'm going to talk a little about the new 1.14.20 update. But I am not really going to focus on the main things that are in the changelog because you have already most likely seen those on other channels who cover that type of stuff. I'm going to focus on the highly technical stuff that they broke, and I suppose I will do these more often in the future. I didn't really bother previously, but this one, oh boy, they broke some really useful stuff, and I would like to talk about that. So first, let's start off simple. We are right here on the official release changelog, and all these are, well, I don't know, it's just general bug fixes, crashes, whatever. So one bug that got fixed is that MC World and MC Pack files would not import on iOS, and that was actually an issue which a lot of people in my Discord server encountered when trying to install the chunk border resource pack, so that might actually be fixed. There's some general fixes right here, but there's a really important fix right here, and it's really not a fix, it broke so many things, and it's players no longer bounce when being pushed and pulled by honey blocks and pistons. That means they underwent significant changes in, players being moved physics, and that broke so many things. Let me show you. So I am in my testing world, and first I will show you the aforementioned behavior, which was fixed supposedly, and looks like being pulled along by honey blocks seems more stable now. However, since that meant they had to undergo significant changes in physics of being moved, this also broke quite a bit of things. So there is this translocation elevator right here, and I have shown this on my channel previously. I will just show you a little clip of that right now. And that was a really cool thing because it was very fast and it wasn't as laggy as the sand pusher elytra launcher thing. However, it is completely broken. So if I just try to stand up right against here, normally I should shoot up at high speeds, but nothing. If I do the same right here, it's the exact same, and this is an issue that apparently happens now. Now if you're wondering, the sand pushers work fine. Yep. But yeah, this translocation does not work, and I can already show you a few other examples of what does not work anymore. So first off, normally even when you were standing on slabs, you would get pulled back and forth fine, but now I'm just glitching around kind of. And it seems like you do get pulled along fine if you are on a full block. So as you can see, I am on a full block and I get pulled along just fine. But if you are on any sort of non-full block, it will not work at all. And this is also why this doesn't work, because this translocation method used glass panes that you were right up against it, and it will pull you up and stuff like that. And that doesn't work anymore. There is also another example, and that is this flying machine right here. Actually, let me just rebuild it for a second, or I'm just gonna build a really simple flying machine to demonstrate the current issue. And that is that minecarts, which are also an entity, won't get pulled along by rails either, because rails are not full blocks. And that means that, of course, they will have big issues, or rather not get pulled along at all by the rails. So we're just going to start this up really quickly. Let's just make a little branch and put the minecart on here. And if I just start this flying machine, as you can see, it will not get pulled along at all. So if I just place it, it does not get pulled along, and please don't crash into that farm. Yeah, but as you can see, it does not work at all, and that means this farm right here is completely broken. Yeah, this melon pumpkin farm is broken. This one right here is broken as well. Now, there used to be a method where you could glitch the hopper minecart inside a glass pane, and that would make it get pulled along, but I tried that, and it seems like that doesn't work either. And this farm right here, this is my Simtic melon and pumpkin farm. As you can see, it's also affected. This will not pull you along properly. And I tried some fixes. So the first obvious fix idea would be to stick you inside of a composter or a cauldron. Let's find the cauldron for a second. Where is it? There it is, the cauldron. So as you can see, if I stand inside the cauldron, I just fall out, and the same happens right here to the composter. And that is pretty concerning, not gonna lie. Of course, since, this only affects non-full blocks, what you could do is have a solid block right here and just stand on top of it, but you would really have to make sure that you never ever move from that solid block. And That is what you are requiring to make these farms work again. You can also use a honey block and get put along, but you would have to add terracotta and whatever, and that is kind of messy. And quite obviously, this translocation high also completely stopped working. Which is kind of sad because it was really cool, but looks like that's how things are now. They just love patching out really useful stuff, and I suppose there's not much we can do about it. It's just really annoying. But either way, it looks like the most important things still work. So zero-tick farms are still completely functional. As you can see, those two work. It grows just fine, etc. My sand-based zero-tick farms also work. As you can see, yeah. But the most essential things are still in place and still work fine. However, this translocation, not necessarily just translocation, but player movement physics have been severely nerfed or, well, altered. And also minecarts, of course. So basically all entities being pulled along. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the second significant change in this update, and that is that technically slabs don't block spawns below them anymore. So in theory you could just replace those carpets with slabs, because for a lot of people slabs are more accessible than carpet. However, there is one glaring issue. So if you are not aware, mob spawning is basically divided into two caps, the surface and the cave cap. That is not for all mobs, but in most mob farms, the surface and the cave cap are both used. And if you leave out the surface cap, then there will be significantly lower spawns. Now, usually the surface spawns only occur if you have sky access, but previously, when you had slabs as the roof, it would transfer the surface spawns down. Now, in 1.14.0, the slabs stopped transferring surface spawns down, but they still spawned mobs below them. So they only spawned cave cap mobs, but they still spawned mobs below them. Carpet does not have that issue. Carpet still passes down surface spawns, which means that the mob farms are still fully functional. And in 1.14.1, they made it so that water, glass, leaves, and bottom slabs, and I think some more, just completely blocked all spawns below them. Basically, they just made the spawn check go to y-1, and that would completely terminate the spawn check and meant that nothing would spawn below them. But that was only the case if they had complete sky access, so only air was above them. Either way, in 1.14.20 or 2, whatever, what they just released, they did reintroduce the issue of the slabs not transferring surface spawns. Well, all they basically did was revert the changes made in 1.14.1 to the ones made in 1.14.0. So we are still stuck with using carpet as roof, because there will be no surface spawns if you are using a slab roof. And that, for example, is detrimental for some farms, like stray farms or whatever, farms that only use surface spawns, because strays only spawn on surface, and that is why you need to use carpet. Slabs will not work. And if you're all wondering, triangulars work just fine, luckily. Seems like they're not affected at all by this physics change, and I'm quite happy that they are not affected, because honestly they broke triangulars enough already. They can just leave them alone for now. These designs are not very practical, but they're about the best we have, and I think they're still pretty cool, and still pretty useful, because triangulars are absolutely amazing. Another example of broken item physics is my shulker loader, so this will also be completely broken. If I just dispense the shulker box right here, it will start filling up. This is the system you know. However, most of the time, almost always, it will just glitch out. So let's just wait for a second for it to fill up. Okay, I just had some extra honeybots in there. But as you can see, well, sometimes it does properly dispense the shulker boxes and collect them. It will also very often glitch out, so I've had this happen several times already. Not sure why it's not happening now, but I definitely don't recommend building this. As you can see, it just glitched out right there, and it will also glitch out in all sorts of places, and honestly, that really just sucks. There is really no reason for them to break everything like that, and I get that it was probably on accident. They just tried to fix the honey thing, but they broke so many things. You can't just, you know, overwork an entire system just to fix one thing and break a million others. It's kind of disappointing, to be honest. So, looks like the things you mostly need to be aware of in this update is entities being moved, etc. So, like I said, these sand pushers that I also use in my gold farm are luckily not affected, but things like translocation will be completely broken, and melon and pumpkin farms that pull along the minecarts using rails are also broken. Triangular still work, and of course, like I said, slabs will not pass down surface spawns, but that is not new, they just removed the change they did in 1.14.1. Either way, that is pretty much it that I have to cover for this video. There are probably some other videos you're going to want to check out for the actual changelogs in 1.14.20, but I only covered the stuff that I really deem really important. The rest is just marketplace fixes and whatnot, and who really gives a damn about that. But either way, I am not very confident that they will revert this change, so that means that translocation is probably broken forever. I might look into a way to make a melon and pumpkin farm with a flying machine using minecarts being pulled along again, but for the time being, it's broken. And I will of course update all the video descriptions for the farms that got broken in this update. And of course I will update the versions of the videos to 1.14.20 if they do still work in this update. Now with that being said, I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I hope you didn't mind me getting a little annoyed at those changes, because they are very useful mechanics for technical players, and it is quite annoying that they patched that instead of patching, really annoying things. But for the time being, I hope you enjoyed watching this video and that you got a little use out of knowing what broke and what didn't. But either way, my name is Kxnetxc, and you know the drill. Bye bye.